As the last golden rays of the setting sun illuminated the sky, a young man named Yuto stood at the edge of a river, mesmerized by its steady, unbroken flow. The water, as if aware of his turmoil, glistened with an almost peaceful clarity. He watched it, entranced, yet the chaos in his mind, his constant thoughts of success, failure, and the pressures of life, kept him anchored in a storm of uncertainty. Finally, unable to hold his silence any longer, he turned to the Zen master beside him. "Master," Yuto asked with a voice heavy with frustration, "how can I ever find my true self in this overwhelming world? I'm constantly moving, yet I feel like I'm standing still, trapped in a race with no finish line. Where do I begin?" The Zen master, an elderly man with eyes like still waters, sat with a tranquil calmness, watching the river flow beside them. He did not immediately answer, instead letting the question hang in the air between them, as though the wind itself might carry the response. Then, after a long pause, he turned to Yuto and said, "Look at that stone, half submerged in the river. The water flows around it, shaping it over time." Yuto squinted at the stone, its surface worn smooth by the current. Yes, the water shapes the stone, but it's not the stone's choice. It just exists. How does that help me find my purpose? The Zen master smiled gently, his voice quiet but firm. The stone does not fight the river. It simply allows the current to shape it. You too, my friend, are like this stone. You do not need to force anything. Your true self will emerge not through constant striving, but through acceptance, through being in the flow of life. Stop resisting what is, and your true path will reveal itself. Yuto felt a surge of frustration rise in him. But I don't know what my path is. I've tried so many things, jobs, relationships, distractions, and none of them feel like the right one. How can I know if I'm on the right path? The master closed his eyes for a moment, as though listening to the earth itself. Your path is not something that can be seen from the outside. It is not a destination, but a process of being present with each moment. You already are on the right path, whether you recognize it or not. The question is not, what should I do, but how can I be fully here now with what is? For the first time, Yuto felt a subtle shift inside of him, as though a quiet door had opened, just slightly. Still unsure of what the master meant, he followed him silently through the forest the next morning. The sound of leaves crunching beneath their feet felt like a meditation, simple and grounding. Eventually, they reached a towering oak tree, its trunk wide and ancient. The master gestured toward it. "Do you see this tree? It does not chase after the sun or fear the coming storm. It simply grows quietly, without hurry, without worry. Its purpose is not found in doing, but in being." Yuto studied the tree. Its branches stretched high, seemingly at peace with its roots deep in the earth. He felt a small stirring inside, like a long-forgotten truth was beginning to resurface. "But how does that relate to me?" he asked, his voice softer now. "I am constantly being pulled in different directions. How can I find stillness when everything feels so chaotic?" The Zen master looked at him kindly. "Just as the tree does not force its growth, you do not need to force your life into any shape. The more you let go of the need to control, the more naturally your purpose will emerge. The chaos you feel is not the enemy. It is part of the river of life. You do not need to fight it. You only need to be still enough to see where it is taking you." Yuto closed his eyes, letting the words sink in. In that moment, he understood. His true self wasn't something he had to search for. It was already here, within him, waiting to emerge if he would only stop fighting the current of life. The constant striving to figure it all out had been a distraction. Peace, he realized, was found not in control, but in surrender. As they returned to the temple, Yuto felt a quiet stillness within him, a deep knowing that he didn't need to have all the answers right now. Life would unfold as it should, if only he allowed it to. When they arrived, the Zen master paused and turned to Yuto. "What have you learned?" Yuto smiled, his heart light yet full. "I've learned that my purpose is not something I need to chase. It's not outside of me, but within, already present in each moment. I simply need to stop resisting and trust that life will show me the way." The Zen master nodded, his eyes shining with quiet wisdom. Yes, purpose is not something you seek. It is something you become. It is in every breath, in every step, in every moment. And remember, just as the tree grows without effort, so will you. But only if you allow yourself to be as you are. Reflection. Life is like the river, constantly flowing and changing, but we don't have to fight against it. Like the stone, we can simply allow ourselves to be shaped, trusting the process. True peace and purpose are not found in the hustle, but in surrendering to the moment and being present with what is. Takeaway. Next time you feel lost or overwhelmed, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, how can I be fully present in this moment? How can I surrender my need to control and trust that my true self will emerge? The answers are already within you. Simply let go and allow life to unfold.